So what do we know? What do we not know? What's the latest?
We know that the family aboard that Southwest plane with the replacement Note 7 is saying that it was a replacement Note 7, and they sent The Verge a photo of the box with a little black square on the code labeling, which indicates that it's a replacement device. It's a very common practice. Apple even did it. They have a green sticker on some of their chargers post recall for those devices. But you know, Emily, I thought we were past this. I thought we were done talking about these phones. I thought we were going to move on to a new topic, but this just keeps coming up and coming up for Samsung, and it's already getting out of hand. They claim they solved the issue. They didn't solve the issue. Clearly, there's a problem here. And it's also, you know, interesting to me that if The Verge can figure out that this was a replacement device, if the family is saying this is a replacement device, how come Samsung can't come out and say it's a replacement device? Are they embarrassed? I mean, do they think this person is making it up? How long does it take to get their hands on the device? How long does it take to get pictures of the device?
Well, of course, they're saying they legitimately don't know yet. You know, on the other hand, they're fielding, you know, activist investor issues where a company called Elliott Management is saying that Samsung should be splitting in two, relisting its core business on the NASDAQ. This isn't something that has never been proposed before, but this is obviously a huge company. There are a lot of different departments within this company, and now that they're going through these issues, one wonders if perhaps they should be more focused.
Honestly, maybe they should be more focused, but I don't think that splitting the company in two is going to solve the problem. The problem here, and our colleagues, part of Bloomberg Technology in Asia, wrote an amazing story detailing that in the rush to beat the iPhone 7, they really didn't put in the amount of testing they should have in these battery components and sourcing out of the supply chain. So that's not related to having to split the company in two or not. They need to refocus the management within the company. They need to change their procedures. And I think some weight on this even should go on to the carriers. Obviously, these wireless carriers are very trusting of their partners like Apple and Samsung. But when people buy an iPhone, it's not only an Apple iPhone, but let's say you buy it from the Verizon store, it's the Verizon iPhone. People called the first CDMA iPhone a Verizon iPhone. So these carriers are part of the marketing behind it. They have their brands at stake. So I think that carriers themselves, they need to put more attention into testing here, just like a company is going to vet someone they hire before they hire them.
That's an interesting point. David, you know, Samsung is obviously in a vulnerable position right now, and you have investors trying to take advantage of that. But just how vulnerable would you say this position actually is?
I would say very, very vulnerable. If this proves to be true, and I think we have to basically assume it's not a dirty trick by Apple or Elliott Management to kind of make Samsung's situation look even worse, it would be a great thing for them to pull off if they could, because nothing could make the company look worse. But here's a company that's a very opaque, you know, family-controlled Korean company that really does not have what we would consider modern governance. And I do think that Elliott's management's arguments are interesting, that, you know, they really need to put in place much more contemporary controls and governance methodologies, because they're proving themselves to be incapable of running the company properly. They seem to have rushed as much in the replacement as they rushed, as Mark just explained, in producing the 7 in the first place. So these people are really, really screwing up, and something's got to change at that company. And I think it's terrible.